Hello everyone, it's Michael from replicaairguns.com, and today I'm bringing to you a bit of a gun safety video. Now, I did do a dedicated video that went over all kinds of safety tips like handling, storage, you name it, target acquisition, like how to make sure that your target is safe beyond everything, all kinds of crazy stuff. Really what I wanted to focus on today is like when you're handling the gun. So when the gun is being handled by you, how to keep that gun safe, because when I'm watching other people's videos, a lot of times I'm watching other air gun videos, and maybe some of these people have never actually handled a real firearm or been through any firearms training. And so I'm not putting them down. They've never really necessarily been educated, and I see a lot of common mistakes that people make. And so I just wanted to go over some of these really basic things when you're handling the gun, not storing the gun, not even shooting the gun, before you do any of that, when you're handling the gun, because I think that's where a lot of these accidents happen, is when people are handling the guns. So anyways, let's talk about some of the things that I want to bring up here. And the first thing that I notice a lot of people do in these videos is they're holding the gun like this, fingers on the trigger all the time. They're walking around, they're forget about where the barrel's pointed, all that, the fingers on the trigger all the time, pretty much through the whole video. First thing you want to do when you handle a gun is never put your finger on the trigger. Basically protect the trigger with your finger. See how I'm doing that? Protect it, okay? It's going to be hard for something, usually the gun's facing you. If something like a stick were to come in here, your finger's protecting that trigger. It's not accidentally going to go off. Even if you pull on your finger, it's going to be hard for it to go off, okay? So you protect that trigger. The gun won't go off if the trigger doesn't get pulled. So when you're ready to shoot, I'm getting lined up, I'm ready to shoot, there, now I shoot, okay? Even while I'm getting the gun sighted in, best thing to do is keep your finger off that trigger till you're totally ready, and then put your finger on the trigger. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. So please try and do that. That's gun safety 101 right there. Second thing I want to talk about is, don't have the gun loaded. Right now, I'll just prove to you, there's no CO2 in this gun, so I'm not doing anything crazy. Even if I pointed at myself, which I'm trying not to do either way, unless I'm trying to, unless I want to show you something you shouldn't do. Don't point the gun at yourself. Keep the gun empty until you're ready to shoot. I'm not going to shoot during this video, so why should I have the gun loaded? I'm not going to shoot it. So the gun is empty, okay? Don't load the gun until you're ready to shoot it. I don't want to get into storage or anything like that, but in my opinion, even when you store your gun at home, in Canada, we're not allowed to keep them stored loaded. Don't put them loaded. The only time that I would recommend you have it loaded is if you're in the US and you're using it for self-protection, but you're in control of the gun. When you're in control of the gun and you're using it for self-protection, you got to have easy access, so you don't want to have to wait around while you load it, but you're in control of the gun, then have the gun loaded, okay? So this gun is empty. There's no pellets or anything in it for this video. If I were to shoot it, I'd get everything set up, keep the gun empty right up to the time I'm ready to shoot the gun, okay? Load it up, shoot it. So that's the second thing. Don't load the gun until you're ready to shoot. Okay, I see a lot of people, they're doing their demo. Now again, keep in mind this gun is empty, but I don't like treating even empty guns as if they were loaded, because I like to assume that all guns are loaded. So I guess that's kind of the third thing. Assume it's loaded even if you know it's not, because it's always that empty gun that somehow seems to shoot somebody magically, right? I thought that gun wasn't loaded. I thought it was empty. Well, if you had thought it was loaded, you probably wouldn't have shot yourself with that empty gun, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. So with that said, right, I'm going to be doing some demonstrations that I don't particularly like to do, but I see people when they're demoing their guns, they want to show you the other side. So they do this, and they flip it around, and they're like pointing it at their face, and they're like holding the gun like this. They're like holding it like that with their hand right around the barrel. I mean, yeah, sure, if you shot yourself, you'd shoot yourself in the hand, you probably wouldn't die, but why go through the pain and agony of shooting yourself in the hand? Even with a pellet gun or even an airsoft gun, that's going to sting, right? So if you want to show the other side, point the barrel away from yourself, okay? And right now, there's nobody around. I'm not pointing this gun anywhere where there's people, okay? So not just yourself you got to protect, you got to worry about other people around you. If there was people in front of me, I'd be doing this, okay? I'd be pointing the muzzle down, or I'd be pointing it up, okay? But always, and you know what? Hickok 45 said something that if you haven't watched his channel, that guy is like, the master of real guns and safety, and he handles his guns just beautifully. Watch him. Watch how he handles his guns. And he said, pretend that the barrel at all times is like a lightsaber. So if I'm going to like rotate it around or even move it down, if I went like this in front of my arm, just pretend it's a lightsaber. Just cut my hand off, okay? So just keep that in mind. It's like a lightsaber that goes out, say, for 40 feet. And you don't want to cut people's heads off, arms, anything. Just you keep that barrel away from yourself, your hands, your body, all of that. So don't point it anywhere. Now, at a gun range, a lot of times when you're handling a gun, they want you to either like keep it pointed into the field or wherever you are. So if I'm at a gun range, I always keep it that way. When you're checking the magazine, I see a lot of people do this when they check their magazine. So they're theoretically pointing it at their neighbor. So when you check your magazine, I usually go sideways like this, and then I'll pop the magazine out, okay? But good gun handling. Or you could do it like for me, I've got the release here, so I'd point it sideways or I'd point it down, but always keep the gun pointed forward at a gun range, right? Some gun ranges will say you can point it up. Some gun ranges will say you can point it down. It depends what's above you, right? Who knows what's above you, who knows what's below you, but you have to be aware if there's people above you or potentially where's that bullet going to go if it were to shoot up or down, right? Sometimes there can be things underneath you too. So again, you keep it pointed forward, especially at a gun range, or if you're shooting with your friends, keep the gun pointed forward. Your friends are going to be beside you. Keep it pointed forward when you're loading it, whatever you're doing, switching it over, okay? So that's just really good safety. I'm trying to think what else. I don't want to miss anything. I think that's pretty much the top things I wanted to talk about. Keep your finger off the trigger. Keep the gun unloaded till you're ready to shoot it. And again, unload it when you're done, right? When you're finished shooting, take the BBs, pellets out of it. Try to use up the CO2 if you can. If you can't use the CO2 up in one day, people ask that a lot. Oh, can I leave it in there for a week? Weeks, you're probably fine. 1 week or whatever, no big deal. But if you can, try to use up the CO2. Empty that gun when you're done shooting. It's going to be a lot safer. Even air guns can cause injuries to people if they, if it goes into the wrong hands, some kid gets it or whatever and shoots himself, and worst case scenario in the eye, lose an eye. It's pretty bad, right? So anyways, there's pointing, how you point the gun. Those are really I guess the 3 to 4 points that I wanted to mention in gun handling. And if you can get those things figured out, you're going to be a lot safer. You're going to probably have a lot happier shooting. You're not going to find yourself in a situation where you shoot yourself or your friend and then it sort of tarnishes the sport or the whole sport of shooting air guns and even real guns for you. All right, so I'm going to have some more videos for you soon. I've got some other products coming, so don't worry. I'm going to be doing some full-on reviews, tabletop reviews soon. I just have been kind of going through this phase where I wanted to do some education, so hopefully you're enjoying these educational videos. I've had a couple people ask me about doing a target, so target acquisition. So how do you get the best? Like I did the hand grip video. People are saying, can you show me how to line up the target? That's a little bit tougher to do because with cameras trying to get all that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that one or how I'm going to do that one, but I'll give it some thought, see if there's a way that I can do that. All right, so thanks again for watching another Replica Airguns video. Until next time, take care.